Good morning, good morning, good morning. I guess it's afternoon. Hey, it's noon. Hello, everybody. Excited to be live here today to talk about our new month. It's August. Welcome, welcome, welcome to August. Are you sick of seeking your purpose? Constantly seeking, but never finding? Well, today that's what our topic is. So strap on your seatbelt and let's go. All right. I hope Shawnee can maybe make her way in here. It looks like she's here. So we'll see how that works out. Let me get my notes up. I was doing tech by myself here. And so here we are. Hi, Shawnee.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Jet lagged, but good.
Long travels yesterday. Long travels.
Yeah, started at 7 in the morning and didn't end till midnight.
That's too long, especially with two young kids.
That was fun. But they were actually really good. I was
That's good.
impressed.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Peyton has decided she wants to travel. So,
Uh-huh. So she decided to keep it together. That's awesome. Oh, that's a long time even for adults. So that's awesome. Today we are talking about purpose, Shawnee.
we
And
are.
I was just sharing how are we sick of seeking our purpose, like constantly seeking our purpose. I was just sharing this morning with someone in Kenya on a different topic, kind of, but it really related to this as I was thinking about doing this live today, and that idea of seeking purpose and this constant seeking, but never feeling like we've found it.
Yeah. Why don't you guys tell us what you think your definition of purpose is, or where you have looked to find your purpose?
That's good.
For me, I've taken the test. I took a test in high school that told me what I was supposed to be as an adult. Told me I was supposed to be a garbage collector, and then I'd be a really good garbage collector. And I remember when I let that define me. I remember where I looked at that test and I was like, wow, all I can do with all I have with skills is collect trash. And it was kind of internalized. But really, when we think about purpose, there's a secret to knowing where your purpose is and where God's calling you.
Yeah, it's so much bigger, than the world, and when I think about Christian Rocketeers and just our purpose in starting Christian Rocketeers, that idea of the verse of that the laborers are few,
Mm-hmm.
that the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. And that's why we started. Like that was our purpose in starting Christian Rocketeers, is to prepare and get nonprofit leaders going, that are scared, or maybe they've started, but they're funding it themselves, or, all the different parts that go into a nonprofit and what that looks like. If God's calling you, let's get going and let's get you moving. And that's, where that all started, was the laborers being few.
Yeah, and I think for us, I mean, when you think about purpose, it goes back to where you said in Ephesians of where you look to for first purpose starts with your identity in Christ, which is where we started off together first. Carrie and I started off first, you know, together over Inflame More Life, in helping people discover who they are in Christ. Many of you are here from that, and knowing your true identity in Him. And from there, you can walk out your purpose.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that, and I was really I think that's step two, as I was thinking about it this morning. And the first step is surrender.
Ooh, that's a good
Like
word.
we need to surrender ourselves, right? Like I need
Mhm.
to know my purpose, me, my kids, my family, my this, my that. Like stop with the my, stop with the me. He promises to tell you your purpose. This Bible says in Jeremiah 33:3 and many other places that he will reveal. He will reveal. And so some of the things I wrote to my friend in Kenya this morning were: surrender the self, surrender the pain, surrender the junk,
Mhm.
surrender the it's not fair, it's not right, surrender the if I would have just,
Ooh.
surrender the shame,
Mhm.
surrender the bitterness, surrender the rage, the hatred, surrender the fear.
How many times have we had to do that, Carrie, in our own lives? How many times have we had to, I mean, for me, I had to do it this past week. I had to really surrender. And God showed me, I was talking we just did, I'm Up in Christ Bible study. I was talking about how I learned I had a lot of show resentment towards people that I had to surrender. I had a lot of unforgiveness still that God had to feel. But then when I surrendered, the healing happened. And our family came together in a way that it's so powerful that actually made me cry.
Yeah, I know. It's so true. Because once we surrender it all, hi, I can't see who your name is because we're over in StreamYard, but hello. Yeah, Shawnee sometimes has a little echo on her side. Maybe I do too. I don't know. But once we surrender, then it's like, then what you were saying, Shawnee, right? It's like, then what do we pick up, right? Like, we can't just let go of something. We leave a void, and God doesn't work in a void. He always fills it, and we will fill it with something. So either we're going to worship him or we're going to worship something else. And so what do we fill that with? And that's the idea of identity, right? And who we are in him. And so what I wrote to her this morning was, fill up on more and more of him. Receive is the second part, right? So we surrender, and now we need to receive. And what do we receive? We stop trying to figure it out, and we just step into our identity, right? He promises things in the word. We are not beggars. He promises things in the word. And so let's step into that. We are royalty. His love, his joy, his peace, his vengeance for wrongs. If someone wronged you, he will take care of it. Like, even if they're going to heaven, if they do accept Christ and they're going to heaven, they're going to have to be accountable for those actions towards you. So that he will take care of the vengeance for wrongs. His truth, his hope, his faith, his acceptance. And all that we have in our identity, which there's so much more, but those are just ones that popped in my head. And so then stepping into that royalty and demanding, right? Like, it's that idea of these are his promises. Now let's stand there with expectation, not as beggars, like, oh, I hope you'll give me my purpose. Please help me find it. Please. It's like, no, you tell me you're going to give me my purpose. So stand in that and then seek be that expectation and then see what's in front of you and do it.
Yeah, I think one of the mistakes we make is we don't stand in our authority.
Yeah.
And so that's where we lose the focus. That's where it goes to God, what's my purpose? Because we're not standing in our authority as his child.
Right.
Where he definitely wants to download it to you.
Yes.
And you just have to be open to it.
Right. He wants to download it more than I want to know it. Right.
Yeah.
Like but we have to get rid of ourselves. Like, if this is about me, he can't download to that. And if he does, we're not going to hear it anyway, because it's all about us. And our purpose is never about us. It's about others around us. I'm in the middle of writing my chapter of my book about pain and how our pain turns into our purpose. I mean, there's a lot of things that our purpose can look like, but one big one is what has been most painful in our lives and turning that into purpose. And I don't want to get into all that today, but that is, that's really, the challenge that we have coming up. That's a lot of what goes into that. Of course, so many other pieces and parts as well. But, that idea of walking out, number one, surrendering, number two, stepping into our identity and learning what that is in scripture. And then number three, walking in that authority, and not as a beggar, but as a princess of the king, and standing in what he promises.
Put on your crown, as you would like to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, put on your crown. So true. It's so true.
And she told me that a number of times last week, guys. I got so many messages from her. That's why we make a good team. We compliment each other well.
Yes, we do.
But it's walking in the royalty instead of going into any situation defeated.
Right. And it's hard. Like, I think about, salvation for our children, or, maybe a marriage difficulty that's just been there forever and hasn't been changing. And I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm saying it's simple. The answer is simple. The walking out is challenging, and you need Christian fellowship around you. You need, if it's a nonprofit God's calling you to, you need other people going through that same journey, and Christians that are going through that same journey, which is, where Christian Rocketeers comes from. And if it's in our marriage, then we need our Bible study friends that are praying for us and willing to send us those reminders and, all of those different pieces and parts. So I'm not saying that it's easy to walk out, but it is simple. The answer is simple. So let's not complicate it and make it into, I don't know, whatever mental gymnastics that we try and turn it into. It's simple. He will give it to us. Seek him, not your purpose. Seek him. Now I got to stop because we're getting into stuff that we're not getting into until the
challenge. But when you think about that, what keeps people from those things? Let's talk about the obstacles that keeps people from walking out their purpose.
Fear.
Oh,
fear is huge.
Big time.
Overwhelm, right? Like there's no way, that idea of just overwhelm. There's so many tasks that I don't know what to do first. Oh gosh, the idea of I'm not enough. Right? Like I don't have enough legal, or I don't have enough social media, or I don't have enough, whatever it is I'm not enough of. Like, insert the blank. I'm not enough. And the good news is you don't need to be enough. You're right. You're not enough. Neither am I. But because of him, we are. And that's where our identity and our authority comes from.
Why don't you guys in the comments tell us what's kept you from walking out your purpose? Now, if you found it, tell us just, what kept you in the beginning from finding it. We'd love to hear your answer. For me, it was I didn't feel like I was enough. I have always defined myself as a mom. And someone says, Facebook user says money.
Oh my gosh. So my excuse for so long. And the good news is your purpose, he will fund it. He will bring the finances. You don't have to find it. He will bring it.
What we forget as Christians is one of the scriptures I've been standing on is my father owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. That's not totally the verse, that's the context. But he has all the wealth. There's enough for everyone. And the reason why we don't receive it is because we think when we think of the concept of God giving us a blessing, it's too much. But we have to see him as a loving father who wants to give good gifts to his children.
And I think, having spent a lot of time in Kenya and a different culture, our culture over here in the US and the Western culture, probably in Europe too. I don't know that culture that well, but, the idea of money is first and foremost, right? It's like, I've got to go to work. I got to pay my bills. I got to do this. I got to do that. And so money, it's like, if I don't have enough money, I can't do it. And the reality is he will find you the money. Like with you, he will find the money. And I learned that in Kenya because there is no option. There just aren't those other options. So the only option is to pray. And when you pray, do what he says. And as you do that, the finances are going to come. Like that's exactly how it works. It's amazing. And I'm the one that said money. I'm still the one that says money. Like, no, we can't do that yet because we don't have enough. I'm the one that's like, oh, let's wait. Let's not hire the assistant. Like, we don't have money for that.
Let's give yourself credit. You've done that less and less. You have grown a lot. I think about, I got to visit with Susan this week, and Susan talked to me about your visit with Molly, and how Charles Mully, when he does things, she was interested in how he funded all that he has, the empire that he has, the children that he helps. And she was amazed that his answer was not a huge answer. His answer was pray. Pray. That was it. It wasn't I have all these donors. It wasn't I have this long list of people. It was the children and I pray, and it shows up at the door. And that was just so incredible.
Yeah, you have a little sound issue there for a second. But yeah, it's true. And the secondary follow-up to that was, I don't know if this is the exact word, but start small. God does not despise. In fact, he honors and he loves, delights in small beginnings. So, if he's calling you to start a homeless shelter, like go down and give a meal to someone that's homeless, right? Go work with some people that are working with the homeless, right? We don't need to start with something big. Like, don't despise small beginnings. We allow money to be an excuse. It's an excuse. It's just one of the excuses that we use. And I allow money to be an excuse. And we don't need to. We don't need to. He has all the money and the provision for the vision that he calls us to. And I think that's maybe where that step is that we're really good at helping people figure out is, what is the vision? What is the God-given vision, and what is my vision? What do I want to get done versus what does God want to get done? And we're really, I don't know, we're just really good at helping people figure that out.
Just by we're really good at helping you narrow it down too, because the vision is large, and you need to take it down to here.
Where do we start? Right. And that's what the challenge is all about that we have coming up August 22nd through the 6th. So if you're interested in that, and even if you already have a nonprofit and you're feeling burnt out and you're like, I just don't even know what my vision and purpose and my mission are anymore, this is for you. If you just don't know, like you're at that point where I feel like God's calling me, but I don't really know yet, like then this is for you. Like this is for you. And I've just been through that kind of that burnout stage of like, I just don't know. Like, I don't know. Just like, I just can't keep going on this or whatever that looks like for you, just that burnout stage. And so I can relate to that. And this is for you. And it's also for those that haven't started yet, that you feel like God is leading you to a nonprofit, but yet you're like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. I'm not enough. Like whatever your things might be, I don't even know what it would look like. I don't know how I would do it. Like, that's okay. You don't need to have all the answers. He's got the answers. Come and do the challenge and let's walk you through that. Let's get clarity on your vision, your mission, and your purpose. And then let's take those next steps to start walking that out. And
if you did the challenge last time, bring a friend with you this time.
Yeah.
Because we've tweaked the challenge. It's going to be a little bit new and different this time. Bring a friend. Everything's better with a friend.
Yeah.
So bring a friend and come do the challenge as well.
Shawnee, that reminds me, we got to dig out those testimonials from the last challenge, man.
Yeah, God did so much in the last challenge of just elevating people to where they were going, and it was so good.
It was. And we had more of a general focus the last time. And this time we're focusing specifically on nonprofits and people that feel like God is calling them to something bigger, but don't know what that looks like. Or you're already in the nonprofit realm, but you're either burnt out or you're just like, I'm doing everything and I can't do it anymore, whatever that might look like. And so getting that clarity is key because we can't do it all. And we're not called to do it all. Not at one time. And we've got to narrow it down. We've got to figure out what is our vision, what is our mission, and what is our purpose. And that's right now, as well as the bigger and all of that. And so I'm excited to focus this more.
Well, let's get over real quick. Let's over to Ephesians 1. We've got some time. So why don't we unpack this real quick?
Do you want to start at 1 or do you want to go to 2:10? No, let's not go there because the challenge covers that. So you're right. Let's start at 1.
Okay. I'm going to start at Ephesians 1, verse 4. Because this helps you figure out what is my purpose. For he chose us in him before the creation of the world to be holy and blameless in his sight. In love, he predestined us for adoption to sonship through Jesus Christ in accordance with his pleasure and will, to the praise of his glorious grace, which he has freely given us in the one he loves. In him we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of sins, in accordance with the riches of God's grace that he lavished on us. I mean, that's just so huge.
Where do you start in that, Shawnee? My Lord.
Well, it goes back to adoption. We're his kids.
Yeah.
And, you and I we like to give our kids good gifts. I mean, when we gave wedding presents, we didn't give little things, we like to lavish on our kids. And just like that, God likes to do the same to us.
Mm-hmm. So true. So true. There's just so much in here. Like, we both love Ephesians 1, that Christ is seated in the heavenly realm, right? We go back to, money or I'm not enough or whatever our things are, I'm not moving forward, fear, whatever those things are, why we're not moving forward. Like Christ is seated in the heavenly realm and he's
not worried.
No, he's not worried. Like, he called you to this. Like, why would he be worried? Like, he created you on this earth to do this. So you think
Yeah, and he's not worried. He's not sitting there going, you know, the world's a mess. You know, this is going on, that's going on. He's seated peacefully.
Right.
But yet we don't live like that. We live so much different.
I know. And that goes for, you know, internally, right? The thoughts that we have, like, am I enough to do this? Like, if he's called you to it, you're enough to do it. That's why he's calling you. I mean, he created you to do this. No one else, and no one else can do it. Someone else might be doing the exact same nonprofit you're doing, or in a lot of ways. I was just talking to our coach earlier this week, and we were talking about the bread aisle at the grocery store, right? And so if you think someone's already doing the work God's called you to do, take a look at the bread aisle. How many loaves of just white bread are in that aisle for you to choose from? Do you
Quite a few.
Yeah. God has called multiple people to do the same thing in their slightly different ways. Yes, he has. If he's called you to this, there's a reason he's called you. Step out and do what he's created you to be. Until then, you're going to be depressed. You're going to be anxious. You're going to be a lot of things until you're finally willing to walk out that purpose. And it doesn't necessarily mean leaving your job. It might, but it doesn't necessarily mean leaving a 9-to-5. You can easily walk out your purpose, not in a 9-to-5 fashion. And he may grow it into something that is bigger and that you will walk away from a 9-to-5. But it's not about like, oh, I got to walk away from everything or give up our families, right? Like, that's the other thing, right? Like, well, I'll be so busy, I will have no family life. Well, God doesn't honor that. So that's not the case either.
No. And so many people think it's so many things, like you said, that it's not.
Yeah.
You know, they think, oh, I'm packing up my house, you know, all this and that. Purposely, you know, nonprofit looks different for everyone in different ways. And we teach all of that to help you figure out what it looks like for you and your team. And what I love about nonprofits is none of the same. Like Carrie said, the bread aisle. You know, you may say, well, God's calling me to help orphans, but everybody does this. Or God's calling me for what we do, human trafficking. But how many people are out there doing human trafficking right now? You have to listen to where God is calling you and positioning you at, because it's for a reason.
Yeah. And that's what we teach in the program. And when we get distracted, like when we're freaking out, like, oh, the money's not coming, or, oh, I don't know what to do next, right? We're the ones that then ground you. Us in the community are the ones that ground you back into, what does his word say? What is he telling you in your private time? What, you know, like, that's where all of this begins. And I could go on and on. I'm not going to.
So good. So if you would like to be a part of the challenge and get in early on the sign up, comment below challenge, and we'll get you the sign up link and all the information that goes with that.
I'm so excited. I mean, we take you on a rocket journey around the world. Like, this is a rocket tour. Like, this isn't just, let's hopefully get through this. And it's not a lot of work. I don't know, maybe 20 minutes a day. One day is a little bit more like 20, 25. Most of the days are probably like 10. And then we get to come live with you just about every day. We come live and we chat and we walk you through different parts and pieces and take you to the next level on some stuff. So you're not going to want to miss the world tour that we're going on. I'm forgetting. I know we go to Kenya. I know we go to England. We go to
Costa Rica.
Right? Yeah, that's right. Costa Rica. And one other.
And you know what I find unique? I actually, on my plane yesterday, people were traveling to Costa Rica. So they were telling me all about Costa Rica. I thought that was fun that they were sitting there, and they're like, you get to see the waterfalls. And,
Oh, that's so awesome. I still want to go to Costa Rica. And I'm excited because we get to go. We're going to learn a little bit about Costa Rica as we go through our day in Costa Rica, as well as, of course, our purpose and where God has taken us as far as nonprofits, be it start and just the beginner founder kind of phase, or it's, I've started, but I'm using all my own money, or I'm lacking. I've started, but it's like, I just don't think I can do it anymore. Like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I'm just all over the place. Like, I'm just running in circles, chasing my tail. Can we relate to that? We can get you out of that. We can get you out of that.
Definitely. All right. Any closing thoughts?
No, I'm just excited. I can't wait for this whole month. I love new months. I love setting goals. I love our challenges. Last time it was just life altering for the people that were in the challenge, and it was just so gratifying to be a part of their transformations. And I can't wait to see that again the week of August 22nd. I hope you guys will join us.
Yes, please do. You are going to have an amazing time, and your fall is going to be even better for doing it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, and if you're trying to get revitalizing a nonprofit or started, now is the time. Now is the time, because you're going to get your year-end donations. You're going to be able to hop in on Giving Tuesday. So many simple, quick, easy ways to gather that startup funding and that startup money that you need to get going. And just super excited. Super excited.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we will hopefully see you at the challenge, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye.
Bye.